Hello, this is Zach Goldstein from Thanx. Welcome to our webinar. We're going to wait a few minutes to begin, just to make sure everyone has a chance to log in. Please let us know if you're having any questions seeing the screen or hearing this, and we'll make sure to get that fixed. We'll start again in exactly 2 minutes. All right, good morning, everyone. This is Zach Goldstein from Thanx, welcoming you to our webinar, How to Max Out Sales During the Winter and Beat Your Competition in the Car Wash Industry. Thank you for joining. We'll try to keep the presentation to about 30 minutes. You are able to ask questions via the GoToWebinar software, and we'll answer those at the end if there are any questions. Once again, thank you all for joining. So my name is Zach Goldstein. I'm the CEO and founder of Thanx, and what we do is help our customers in a variety of industries build deeper relationships with their customers. We've had quite a bit of experience in the car wash industry, and we'll be speaking about a lot of that today. So why are we experts in the industry? We've analyzed about 20 million transactions, a sample of all of our transactions in 2014. And what we've ended up doing is looking at what does that mean? What does it mean for your business? We've noticed a couple things that really stand out. 25% or a quarter of your customers, the true VIPs, are contributing 23% or 2/3 of revenue, excuse me. 2/3, 67% of revenue coming from just 1/4 of your customers. Even worse, or even more problematically, 70% of customers are at risk of never visiting again. Those are people that show up today, they get their car washed, and don't return. And so clearly what this suggests is an opportunity to focus on these VIP customers and focus on retaining these potential at-risk churning customers. We're going to talk about some of that today. As I mentioned, you may ask questions via GoToWebinar at any time through the presentation. We'll get to them at the end, and we will then make the presentation available for you to review later if you'd like. So here's our agenda for today. Winter is coming, time to get prepared for winter, an incredibly important season in the car wash industry. We're going to look at traditional marketing and how it works and where it's not quite working. How to max out sales during the winter months to make sure that your business is well prepared for a great year. And then what are the ultimate key takeaways? So here's where car washes are from an industry perspective. Competition is heating up. The car wash industry is growing actually pretty rapidly. And in fact, what we're seeing is a lot of new entrants into the market. Industry research shows a significant number of new investors entering the car wash market. These are new owners. According to the ICA, 37% of car wash owners have owned their business for less than 5 years. This may be a conservative estimate. So not only is the industry already competitive, but with new business owners entering and bringing innovative concepts to their business, it makes it even harder to continue to grow yours. With competition heating up, the winter months are even more pivotal. For car washes, winter months often drive the largest share of revenue of any of the months or any of the seasons. Cold weather conditions can take their toll on your cars, increasing customer visit frequency. Winter temperatures actually prevent customers from washing at home, which increases demand for your highest value services. Winter time is really the busiest month, and you can see that on the chart shown on the slide. 32% of revenue comes from the winter months. And so that makes it urgent, incredibly important to do something to actually drive loyal customers during the winter months. With intense competition, winter sales available for the taking, let's look at the factors that will drive success for you over these next 3 critical months. So weather decides if car washes are open. On the West Coast, we see rainstorms, or in milder climates, we see rainstorms where people simply aren't washing their cars during that. On the East Coast, in the Midwest, inclement weather and snow means that you actually have to completely close down the business. But when the business is open, you're seeing an increase in visit frequency. You're seeing busier, longer wait times, more customers in the door. You know people are out there getting their cars washed. And so the question is, how do they know when you're available? And how do they come and anticipate when they'll actually be able to get their car washed? Understanding a customer's behavior during winter months and how it compares to other months is crucial. It's crucial to know. And if you are lacking information about your customers, if you can't identify them and communicate with them one-on-one, you're missing out on this peak season. So traditional marketing. Let's take a look at what many of you may be doing and then how we can build on it. The most traditional marketing is email marketing. But according to the ICA, only 7% of consumers say they received online communication from a car wash in the past year. 7%. So right off the bat, what we know to be the case is that even doing anything to communicate with your customers is a starting point to breaking you out from everyone else. Blanket advertisements and campaigns, discounts that go in coupon books or perhaps in the newspaper, that's the traditional. We're moving towards a more personalized form of engagement. Email marketing allows you to talk to customers one-on-one. But what we've seen from email marketing, from social media such as Facebook, is that a lot of it is still not performing at the rate we'd want. 48% of people that have heard from a car wash heard via email. But again, I will focus on the fact that only 7% of consumers have received online communication from a car wash. So what's more effective? Email marketing is interesting. Certainly just being in front of your customers is the starting point. But there are other ways. 80% of millennials, that's customers that are 18 to 44. This is the largest demographic in spending in U.S. history. Have their smartphones with them 22 hours a day. There are now more smartphones in the United States than there are people. And you can see the penetration by age group. These are your customers. And so I often talk about fish where the fish are, not only because I'm on my phone 24 hours a day and all my customers are on my phone 24 hours a day, but also because consumers are engaging much more heavily with communication directly to their phone. Traditional marketing is almost like the picture in the background of this slide. You take a megaphone and you scream out promotions to a faceless crowd. And when you look at how that performs, brick and mortar businesses that are sending traditional mailers, physical mail, see less than 1% conversion rates. Email performs better. Open rates of 18 to 25%, click-through rates, which means someone actually engaged with your content, of 2 to 8%, and conversion into dollars of 0.3 to 0.8. When you think about that, that means in order to get 100 customers in the store, you need to send out a lot of emails. Look at push notifications. A push notification is a message that shows up on the consumer's phone. 60 to 80% of push notifications are opened, and they're opened in real time, unlike emails, which often are opened days later. The click rate, the engagement rate, is 40 to 50%. And we have found that 10 to 30% of consumers who actually open and engage convert to revenue spending customers. They actually spend money at the business. Push notifications are a massively more powerful engagement strategy. And the reason is what I showed on the last slide, because everyone has their phone on them at all times. We have never seen a marketing strategy more ubiquitous than talking to people via their phone, which is on their person at all times. And so to be competitive, what are the key components of an effective marketing strategy? One, data is king. There's a huge amount of data now available that allow car washes to understand which of your days are busiest, the fluctuations by season, the fluctuations by time of day. Everything is now capturable via data. And that data also allows you to build deeper one-on-one relationships with your customers. And a one-on-one relationship means that you can personalize the way you engage with them. By talking to a consumer directly, we haven't seen you in a while, come back soon. Or it's been exactly a month since your last car wash. Are you due? Those are the types of promotions that make someone feel special. Simply inserting their name into the email doesn't do it. That's not personalization. But acting on relevant information that you know about them. By the way, we're running a special at this location, and we know you go there often. That's the type of personalization that makes people actually engage. And then the last piece is, don't build an army of discount-hungry customers. I often call them promiscuous customers. They don't care about the brand. They just care about discounts. Build an army of loyal fanatics, people that actually care about your business. And when you prioritize long-term brand loyalty instead of giving blanket discounts to anyone that finds your advertisement, when you focus on giving those rewards to the people that are contributing such a large portion of your revenue, that's what leads to stickiness long-term. So then, how do we max out sales during the winter months? And really, why does it matter? At the core, not all customers are created equal. This is perhaps the single most important slide in this entire presentation. 28% of your customers are driving 66% of total washes. When you break this down by revenue contribution, it's even more, because big surprise that your heaviest users are actually also spending more money. They're getting the more premium services. Heavy users, the top 25% of your customers, are the single most important chunk of consumers that you can engage with. And for most car washes, you don't know who these customers are. You're operating your business, you're going and delivering a great quality product, but can you identify who these top customers are that are driving so much of your revenue? At the end of the day, in the peak season, in the important winter months, these are the exact customers that are going to double down and spend more with your business. And if you're not building one-to-one relationships with them, you're leaving money on the table. So how do you do that? Using loyalty data to segment your customers is step one. You need to have data about who these customers are, but just having data is not enough. And just rewarding them is not enough. The traditional stamp card, which does check the box of rewarding your loyal customers, but it doesn't check the box of actually providing you with the data you need to do something on top of it. You don't know how many of the people that are receiving that stamp card actually are coming back more often and spending more money. And at the end of the day, rewarding your loyal customers should result in spending more money, in more revenue for your business. So to get people to sign up for a loyalty program, you should have an incentive. What do they get in order for signing up? And don't forget that that's even more important during the winter months, because as new people come to your car wash, you're looking to create a relationship with them now that lasts over the long term. To keep people coming in long term, you need to reward them. What I like to think about here is that the challenge of attracting loyal customers is kind of like running a race. Think about the last Olympic race you saw on a track. You give a consumer some incentive to get out of the starting blocks. And what you're doing is you're dangling a reward for them at the finish line. What's remarkable is just like an Olympic athlete rounds the home stretch and starts running faster when they see the finish line, so too does your loyal customers. When they get close to earning a reward, they come back more often and spend more money. Often, they'll come back 40% more frequently. And so, naturally, if getting people to the home stretch means that they're going to spend more money, you want to get more and more people there. You want to strip out the hurdles associated with loyalty. You don't want to make someone carry around a card or type in a phone number or do these unwieldy things that are very challenging. You want to make it easy, effortless for the consumer. Loyalty ensures, at the end of the day, that you treat all customers according to the value they create for your business. Instead of giving everyone a discount, including those discount-hungry, promiscuous customers, focus that attention on your best customers, and you'll see sales soar and costs actually go down. Loyalty gives you data, and data can be your most important asset in the long term. This is what most car washes are lacking, actual data about who their best customers are. And it's a couple things that I've talked about already. You can personalize the experience after every purchase and let customers know that it matters to them. You can actually solve problems that you were never able to solve before. How many of your customers came once and never returned? How many of your loyal, repeat weekly or monthly customers disappeared this month and you don't know whether they disappeared? We can utilize the data to give customers a reason to keep coming back. And I like to think about this like the book or the movie Moneyball, where the Oakland A's used data about the efficiency of their team to actually beat their competition. They became better without spending more money. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to use the information that you already have, but you're perhaps not capturing, to allow you to build deeper relationships with customers, to extract more revenue out of them, and to do it without blanket discount programs. So this matters because an example of the types of data that you have, you already know anecdotally that Saturdays, Fridays, and to a certain extent Sundays are your busiest days. That's when traffic is busiest in the car wash. But this problem becomes even more complicated during the winter months. You'll have closures. Winter traffic will fluctuate based on the weather. You'll have long lines that maybe are during weekends or maybe they're after a snowstorm. Smart marketers will drive traffic evenly across the week in order to even out this imbalance. Because at the end of the day, if you could be as busy as you are on Saturday, 7 days a week, that is a fast way to increasing your revenue meaningfully. Now, this is something that we've all tried in the car wash industry. We're going to give discounts if you come on Tuesdays, or we're going to do all kinds of promotions to drive traffic middle of the week. But those promotions are inherently, they're not personalized. And so what you're ultimately attracting is you're attracting the customers that are coming just for the discount. Imagine if you could say, as a perk of being a loyal customer, we're going to do something special for you if you come in and get your regular wash during the week. Now you're achieving the exact goal you want, which is to drive more of that Saturday peak hour traffic earlier in the week. But you're using it as a reward and rewarding your best customers, your highest value customers, as opposed to attracting low value, promiscuous customers. And as an example, we've actually done some analysis, and this one actually comes from the restaurant industry, but it's very parallel. A business that saw very low traffic on Wednesdays, and they wanted to drive traffic to their slowest day. By doing that, they were actually increased sales 26% on their slowest day of the week by giving double reward progress on Wednesdays. Now, if you think about this, starting with your loyal customers and driving them middle of the week as a thank you, as a reason to come in, is actually powerful. Using the knowledge that you have about a snowstorm or a rainstorm and sending customers a notification, hey, come in this Thursday, the snow will be gone, we'll get your car washed. Even that reminder is personal and makes someone feel like you care. And that's the difference between personalized marketing and generic marketing. Is actually talking to customers one-on-one, just as you would if you were the person that is greeting them right when they drive onto the car wash property every single day. But you aren't. You have to trust your employees to do that. And actually using personalized marketing to build relationships with the customers when they are not on your property. That's the key. Now, once you've identified your customers, you want to start engaging with them in unique ways, and you want to retain their business long term. Acquiring customers is hard in the car wash industry. The number one and the top reasons in general why someone tries out a car wash are often discount or cost related. Good value, affordable price, received a discount are all very high on the list. And that's not surprising when you think about it. You're trying to convince someone to come do something new, and they have lots of options for where to get their car washed. But what's interesting is when you prefer to stay at a car wash, retention, those answers change meaningfully. The reason someone stays at a car wash is because they have an affinity to the brand. You've done a good quality, the relationship is good, I'm maintaining my vehicle's value. You have convinced them that they matter. The relationship with the customer matters. Discounts aren't even on the radar here once you've actually done a good job with your customer and have built a relationship with them. And you are all investing heavily in training your staff, in building deep, close relationships with your customers so that they want to come back, to make them have a good experience. But most businesses in the car wash industry are not investing equally in building those relationships when they're not on your property, when they haven't been in 3 weeks, and they're not even thinking about a car wash, but they could probably use one. What you can do through marketing channels is extend those quality relationships and great experiences to beyond their experience on your property. And so one of the solutions that we are obviously big fans of is using mobile to engage consumers in real time, to tie your communication to the actual customer experience and give them a chance to engage with you one-on-one, to make it personal. When someone makes a purchase, ask them about their experience and do it right on the phone. How was your experience? Would you recommend us? Would you come back? When done via mobile device in real time, you see much higher response rates, and you can actually get out in front of any online review particularly bad ones, because they'll communicate with you one-on-one. Top-notch loyalty programs, and what you see here is actually a picture of the Thanx technology. Top-notch loyalty programs send notifications in real time. You can see the notification here. Soapy Joe's has granted you a new reward. Visit us on a Tuesday and get $5 off a premium wash. That communication doesn't have to go out to everyone via a generic blanket discount. You can send that just to your VIPs who have a higher likelihood of coming in. And remember, there are two benefits of doing that. One, if you make a VIP customer feel special, you're targeting those customers who are driving 70% of your revenue. That means you'll do a better job of retaining them. But two, instead of giving everyone $5 off on Tuesdays, you're giving just your best customers. And so you're actually going to decrease the amount of discounting you're doing. That's the power of a loyalty program that ties to personal one-on-one marketing. Mobile, remember, is 6 times more effective at doing this. And so if you tried the exact same strategy via email, you would see 1/6 of the customers that convert. This is powerful. And so the key elements I'll get to. Key takeaway here, and I'm actually going to read this quote from Jimmy Starnes at Wash Me Fast. With a loyalty program, we can finally know who our most loyal customers are. More importantly, we now have the tools to engage with them directly and make sure they are happy and keep coming back. The data we are beginning to collect through our loyalty program is fantastic. Every time we learn something new, we just want more and more. This is a customer that we've been working with at Thanx for several months now in order to turn them into a data-driven business. Who are my best customers? A. That's the most important question. B. How do I actually build deeper relationships with those customers? C. How do I measure the impact of doing that? And then ultimately, D. How do I find more people that look just like those really valuable customers? Because those are the people driving all of my revenue. So there you have it. The path to success comes down to identifying customers, engaging with them personally, and focusing on retaining their business long term, because so much of your revenue comes from a small segment of customers. With a data strategy in place, we believe the key tenets of an effective winter marketing campaign are easy for you because you have lots of things on your plate, effortless for the consumer, millennial and consumer friendly by using mobile, draw on the Moneyball tactics of using data as your biggest weapon, and making sure that it is personalized, personalizing marketing to build those deeper long-term relationships. So I'm going to remind you that it's Q&A. You may post your questions to the GoToWebinar control panel. We have a couple questions that were sent in ahead, so I'm going to actually touch on those. I also have a couple questions with some of you that have figured out exactly what the GoToWebinar software requires, which I know is like jumping through hoops. So we can start with some of those as well. I'm going to grab one from one of you that was live, and then I'll jump back and forth. What is the definition of winter here? Winter ends up starting, the winter months end up starting in December, and so the real core winter months are December, January, and February. And so according to the ICA, that is actually the season that drives the single largest chunk of revenue. Let's go to a couple other of these questions because I think that they are good. The one on this list that is actually repeated in someone who submitted a live question, how can you increase sales without giving away discounts? And this was another question, which is, I like the concept of loyalty, but often it just means giving discounts to customers. So there are a couple points here that I think are important. Most marketing strategies that are currently being deployed in the car wash industry are blanket discounts. I'll go back to that picture of the gentleman screaming through a bullhorn at a faceless crowd. If you are doing a campaign, whether it is in your local newspaper, whether it is through a coupon book, whether it is a direct mailer, almost undoubtedly you are sending out discount programs. These drive traffic, but often they drive the wrong type of traffic. They drive discount-hungry customers. And so what we actually would argue is that there are ways to drive these types of increases in loyalty without relying on blanket discounts. Number one is give those rewards to consumers who have earned them. And so make people have to demonstrate loyalty in order to be rewarded. This matters because at the end of the day, your low-value customers are actually not that big of a factor for revenue anyways. So why would you continue to let them discount and erode your margin? And your high-value customers are the ones that are spending more, coming more often, referring more of their friends. That's actually a key. And so using discounts strategically as part of your loyalty program is one way to actually lower your overall discount burden, the amount you're giving away in discounts. But secondly, there are actually ways that you can reward consumers or make consumers more loyal and spend more money without discounts. One of the studies we've done, when you use Thanx as a consumer, you make a purchase and automatically get a notification directly to your phone. You're now 80% towards your next reward, come back soon. But what you also get is a survey using a tool called Net Promoter Score, which asks the consumer, how likely are you to recommend this place to a friend? Not only does that give you a way to measure their satisfaction, but we give them an opportunity to write you a personal message. And that personal message gives you a chance to engage with consumers one-on-one. Well, there's a remarkable thing that happens when you start asking customers for feedback in real time. Just the process of asking for feedback increases visit frequency by 7%. They're 7% more likely to return to your business because you demonstrated to them that you care. When you actually respond, Dave wrote a note and you actually respond one-on-one, that goes up. It goes up to 14%. And so when you think about it, this is a way to build deeper relationships with customers, to extract more value from those customers, and to do it without being discount focused. And there's a secondary benefit of doing this, which is customers that have an opportunity to give you feedback are more likely to refer friends. They are less likely to post bad reviews on Yelp or public sites. And all of that matters. Another question that one of you wrote in is, great, how do I know whether this strategy is working? This sounds like a lot of work, and I want to understand whether it's working. And that parallels something on this screen, which is, what's the best way to measure marketing success? At the end of the day, what matters is actually, are you driving incremental revenue? Do you have a customer who was spending money with you before, who you were able to demonstrate spent more money? And I'll give you an example of one of the tools we use at Thanx to do this. We call it win back. One of the things that some folks in the industry have tried is churn management, where if you haven't seen a customer in 30 or 60 days, you send them an automatic promotion to come back. I would argue that that's a good step in the right direction. But unfortunately, it's more of the blanket, you get out a megaphone and scream out discounts to people. Because the reality is, some of your customers come in weekly, and some of them come in quarterly. And so sending them a promotion on a regular interval is treating them all the same. We have a tool called WinBack that identifies, using statistics, when a consumer has deviated from their own behavior. So instead of a regular interval that you're painting everyone with the same brush, we ask the question, this consumer that came in weekly, how many weeks do they have to miss before we realize something's gone wrong and we send them a message to win them back? Probably only 3 weeks. And the customer that comes quarterly, what are we going to do? Are we going to send them a promotion every 3 weeks? No, that makes no sense. We're going to send them a promotion much less frequently. And so what you do is you personalize that interaction, and you can win back churn customers regularly in a way that actually is very powerful. Hey, we miss you. We know you're one of our top customers and we haven't seen you in a while. Come back soon. It's not only a personalized message, but it also keeps your brand top of mind. Got a question here that just came in. What's the best way to actually get customer data? And that's a good question. We recommend a couple different things, and I'll actually give you a sense for the range of programs. In the loyalty space, there is, of course, the punch card. It rewards your customers, but it doesn't get you data. Then there's the super high cost investment in RFID tags and actual car tracking technology. In between, what we have done at Thanx is actually simplified that. Every one of your consumers that comes on site is making a purchase with a piece of plastic that has their name on it, their credit card. And as a result, we tie loyalty directly to that payment. And so when Zach walks up to pay for his car wash, he pays with a piece of plastic that says Zach on it. Every time Zach makes a purchase, we can now track that purchase and give you the data about who Zach is. Is Zach a first-time customer? Is Zach a loyal customer? Is Zach a VIP that you need to go the extra mile for? Is Zach a churn customer that you haven't seen in a long time? That information about who Zach is valuable for you running your business and was delivered to you effortlessly. Because making consumers jump through hoops, making them do something else when they're really just trying to get their car washed and get out the door is hard. And so this is why traditional plastic loyalty programs have struggled, because they're hard for consumers, and as a result, you don't get much data. And our unique technology ties all of that experience to the payment card. A consumer gets rewarded simply by paying and jumping back in their car and leaving. And that, we believe, is the way it should be, with a mobile notification sent to them in real time, seconds later, saying, how was your experience? By the way, you're almost at your next reward. Come back soon. Structure of loyalty programs is another question that came through here. What do we give away? There are discounts, of course, and for many of you with a limited set of product offerings, discounts are your best option, which is to say, make enough purchases in a short period of time, and we'll give you 50% off the next car wash. But other car washes, you have a variety of premium services that you can offer. Generally, very high margin. We recommend focusing on some of these premium services because it gives you two options. One, you're delivering real value to the consumer. But two, you're actually exposing that consumer to a premium service that perhaps they never would have tried. Now, you generally don't want to discount your premium services. You want them to be elite, and you want to make sure that people aspire to them. But giving a discount on a premium service to your best customers in order to get them exposed to it, now that's a very different strategy and a very good one. So I wanted to be conscious of time. We're at the 40-minute mark. I'll leave a minute for any other questions to trickle through, and then we'll wrap up. But I wanted to point your attention to some of the information that's here. We have several in-depth studies about the car wash industry on our blog. I would highlight our marketing series, 6 Ways to Get Millennials into Your Car Wash. This is the largest spending demographic in the country and only growing. There is also a presentation that you can find on our website or on our YouTube channel presenting to the Western Car Wash Association specifically about millennial marketing. And so I would highlight that as something that's also worth looking into if you have more time and would like to look at it. You can follow up with direct questions to us, hello@Thanx.com, and we will follow up personally with you. And of course, if you're interested in learning about our technology or about loyalty in general, I would go to our website at Thanx.com. Again, I will wait on the line for a minute more to see if any other questions trickle in. I want to thank you for your time, and please let us know if you enjoyed this webinar, if you would like to see more of these, and specifically, if so, what you'd like to see us talk about. Thanks. don't know how to end this.
Did you hang up the phone?